Good morning. Today we're going to talk about Danaja Hayaraki's 2014 World Champion speech, Toastmasters International first place winning speech, the World Championships 2014. I'm AC Osberg. This is Charismatic Communication, where I help you communicate with yourself, others, and the world around you. Let's take a look at this video.
Danaja Hayarachi. I see something. I see something. Danaja Hayarachi.
Just before he starts here, I'm going to tell you that he's going to use a prop that is so subtle and so perfect, and that I'm noticing a lot of these speakers do use subtle props. So let's just watch and see what it is.
You and I are not very different from this flower. Just like this flower is unique. You are unique. All of us has something special that makes us as beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Now the answer to that can be a little difficult to find. Because sometimes life has a cruel way.
Now, before we go on, I just wanted to point out this garbage can and where it's placed, just for something further on in the video. And also the way he's using his prop and the way he's saying we're picking out the petals. It's just perfect. Let's just take a listen to what he's saying here.
Picking out your petals, breaking you in two, and throwing you into the trash. And when you're broken, it's very difficult to feel special. Mr. Goddess Chair, my fellow flowers.
And I'd like to just point out again, I pointed out in the other videos as well with all these World Championship speakers. For the most part, when they introduce themselves and introducing themselves to the audience, it's a common, if you're a Toastmaster listening to this, you know it's fellow Toastmasters, welcome guest, Mr. Chair. But a lot of the time they say fellow Ramona J. Smith, fellow fighters, Danaja Hedarachi, he's saying fellow flowers. So just a good way to connect the audience to your speech. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I can remember the first time I broke. I was 17 years old. I had already flunked high school and managed to get myself arrested. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mom. Raise your hand if you have an emotional mother. Let me see.
I love this. 17 years old, I was getting arrested and I wasn't afraid of the cops, but I was afraid of my mother. And here he's getting everyone to raise their hands. And I think that's a fantastic way to engage the audience and really get them involved in your speech, because you really want them to not get disengaged and not feel distant from you. So you want them to engage with you. So asking a question, getting them to raise their hands is a perfect way to get the audience to engage with your speech.
Put them all together. You get my mom.
That's perfect as well. Put them all together. So all the people in the audience, and that's how emotional my mother is. That's perfect.
I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. She came up to me, held the iron bars.
See what he's doing here with his body language? He's actually holding the iron bars and he's acting it out. And it's show not tell, right? So he's really letting us know where the iron bars are in the speech. And we can really visualize this part. So that's really cool.
Looked into my eyes and I saw a tear coming down her face. Now I've seen my mama cry before, But mothers cry 3 types of tears.
She's going to point out the 3 types of tears of mother's tears. And I'd like to just point out something just before he gets into this, that a lot of speakers use their mother in speeches. I've said this before, but I'll just say it again if this is the first time to my channel and if this is the first time you're watching this, watching these breakdown videos. Everybody has a mother. Everybody was born from a mother. So it's one of those things where everybody has one. So you can really understand, and most people do not want to make their mother cry. So I thought this was kind of neat how he explains this part.
Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, tears of shame. And when a son sees a mother cry, tears of shame, that's a life-changing moment. She looked at me and said, "Son, I want you to be a better man." That night, when I drove home, my dad was waiting for me at home. Now, my dad is a cool dad. Raise your hand if you have a cool dad.
Here he goes again with the raising your hand. So he's really getting the audience engagement. He's getting extra points too, just for having that engagement with the audience and that rapport. So he's going to talk about his cool dad, and again, he's coming back to this raise your hand if you have a cool dad whole kind of thing throughout the speech. So this is really, I really love this. You can learn a lot from this part here.
Put them all together, you get my dad. My dad came up to me and said, "Son, it's okay. You flunked your exams. You already got arrested. That's fine. You get that from your mother's side. I want you to start working immediately." And I said, "Okay." So my dad took me to meet one of his friends called Sam. Now, Sam...
Just like to point out the stage use here as well. I pointed this out in previous videos, but if you're new to this channel, I will just let you know that when you're in a Toastmasters competitive speaking environment especially, you really want to use that stage to visualize, so the audience can kind of visualize where you're going and your characters as well. So now he's going to meet Sam, and he's moving to the left of the stage, and he's kind of pointing where Sam is, and this is really a good part. So let's meet Sam.
I was an accountant who had an accounting firm and had generously decided to make me his personal assistant. And there he was. He looked like a teddy bear. But this man was special. I looked at him, and he looked at me. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, "Son, I see something in you."
Now right here is what I've heard is called the phrase that pays. I see something in you, which is also the name of his speech, which for the past 4 videos here, the name of the speech has been The Message. So I think that just helps the audience visualize the matches a bit more and take that message home. And also, I see something in you is going to be repeated. You'll see it later on in the speech. So that I just pointed out that this is the phrase that pays. And if you are in a competitive speaking environment, or even if you're a professional speaker or you have a presentation, if you can get that one, if you can just boil your message down to that one sentence or that couple words that the audience can remember, not just in the moment, but 3 days later, when they actually need it, a week later, a year later, whenever they need this message, if they can bring that to mind because it's easy, maybe it rhymes, maybe it's just a small, simple sentence, then that'll be very helpful, not only to win the speech competition, but to impact your audience, which is much more important.
But I don't know what it is. If you decide to work with me, I can help you find that something. And I was like, whoa, that's the first time in my whole life somebody has ever told they see something in me.
I'd just like to point out he's such a great body language. It's the first time anybody's told me anything, that they see something inside of me, and he's moving his arms, and he's really getting excited about that. So I think the body language is really cool there.
And I started working for Sam. And every day after work, he used to tell me stories about the world, about history, about culture, about philosophy. And it was much more interesting than what I learned in school. And I discovered I can preach. And I started preaching, ladies and gentlemen. After 1 year, I went back into high school, completed my exam, and went into college. After successfully completing college, I found a great girl.
I think to point out he kind of stumbled there a little bit. I don't know if you noticed it, but I've been watching these speeches now for a little while, and you can kind of tell when the speaker gets off. And I want to just say that if you're a speaker and you get sidetracked, if you're a speaker and you get distracted, you got to learn how to just go with the flow and just continue on and not get flustered and not get anxious and not just kind of lose your train of thought, because that can happen very quickly. And if you lose your train of thought and you're standing up there in front of 2,000 people and you don't know what to do, it's going to get ugly. So a skill you need to learn is just kind of keeping your cool and continuing on. And that happens a lot in practice. When you practice, you shouldn't be stopping and starting. You should just be doing the whole entire thing all the way through, even if you mess up, and then just do it again and again and again and again. Because if you keep going back and restarting, you're going to train yourself to do that. So just train yourself to keep going and just finish it all the way.
But not a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Have you ever had that problem?
Here he's asking the audience, have you ever had that problem where you didn't know what to do with your life? And I think everybody in the world's had that problem, and everybody has that inside of them. Like, I don't know what to do. What's my purpose in life? So I think that's a great question to ask the audience to kind of get them to feel like they're connected to this speech and the whole entire message here.
And when you're lost, it's difficult to feel special. So I went back to my cool dad. And I said, Dad, I feel lost. He said, you are like your mother.
That's very funny.
So my dad introduced me to this strange club that had a strange name with strange people.
I just want to point out here, we all know what he's talking about if you're a Toastmaster. If you're just a guest on this channel and you're not a Toastmaster, just kind of checking things out. Toastmasters know that we're different. Toastmasters know that we have a strange name. It's actually kind of a common joke within Toastmasters, because people always ask, is that where you make toast? People make fun of it a little bit. So I just like how he's pointing that out, because he knows his audience and he's gaining rapport with them right now. So let's check that out.
Okay. On the first meeting, they told me to do something called a table topic. I aced it. But while I was speaking, I see a strange man seated in the back row. Humble, simple. The unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes.
I love how he uses words here, humble, simple, and the unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes. And this is just, it helps so much to visualize. It's almost like you're writing when you write your speech, you can use these little things to really describe people and use that description to really make people visualize that person in their mind. So
as soon as I finished, he walked up to me, looked me dead straight in the eye, and said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you come here twice a month, maybe we can find that something. And ladies and gentlemen, I discovered I could speak, and I love speaking. And that led me to become a teacher. I know what it's like to not have enough money in your bank.
Here he's really bringing this back to a less funny place and kind of a more serious place. But it's like a lot of these speakers, it's pretty flawless how he goes from humor to getting a bit heavy here. So, and he's going to gain rapport with the audience by letting them know that he's not perfect. He knows where they're coming from and that he has a solution for them so they can be like him and find success in their lives. So let's just listen.
I know what it's like to worry when the bills start coming in. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, honey, why did you marry me? She says, I saw something in you.
And what a great way of bringing back the humor in the speech where he rolls over to his wife and says, honey, why did you marry me? And she says, I saw something in you.
But I still don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm a dreamer, I'm a speaker, and I learned the unfailing quality of unconditional love from my wife. I was broken, and I've been broken.
Okay, just before he does this, I've watched this before, and I wasn't really looking for too much. I was just kind of into the speech. But now that I've been analyzing these and kind of breaking them down and looking at them, I want to point out that this garbage can was strategically placed right here. And it's going to play a big role at the end here. And I think it's so cool of a subtly useful prop and how the prop kind of brings everything together, just like Darren Tate in his underwear. It brings everything together. So let's just watch this because I think this is probably one of the best my favorite part of the speech here.
Lost and broke many times in my life, but the people in my life were able to reach into the trash can and make me whole again.
So when at the beginning of the speech, he had ripped all the petals off that flower and threw it in the garbage can. Now he's pulling a full flower out because that's the message here is if you're broken, other people can pull you out of that garbage can and help you with that. So let's watch this.
If it was up to me, I would have never been able to do that. And this is why if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you.
What a great way to bring the message back to the audience too. Ladies and gentlemen, I see something in you. Right? So what a great way to end the speech. He's got the audience laughing, he's got their attention, and he's got them really understanding the message of the speech. So let's listen.
But I don't know what it is.
Before we go here, I just like the audience reaction here is crazy. He's getting such a good pop, what they call wrestling a pop. Right? That's the audience really authentically loving his speech, and he's throwing the flower out there, and that's fantastic. What a great speech. So yeah, that's my breakdown of this speech, 2014. I See Something in You by Dhananjaya Hederachi. And the key takeaways I would take is that subtle use of the prop and how he placed the garbage can in the middle of the stage. He put the broken flower in, then he brought the broken flower out. Now, it may seem like a tiny thing, but that whole flower in the garbage can thing brought everything together, really helped you visualize how people can pull you out of the garbage can. And if they see something in you, they can make you whole again. So, and I love the way he used, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is, as kind of his phrase that pays to really drive home that simple message that his wife told him, that Sam told him, that everybody told him inside the speech, which inspired him to become a teacher and a speaker and go to Toastmasters. So that's my review and my breakdown of this video. I would really suggest, if you're a competitive speaker, that you go and watch this video yourself and kind of pull out what you think you want to take into your speech. And if you're competing in the upcoming International Speech Contest, I will see you on the stage. I'm AC Osberg. This is Charismatic Communication, where I help you communicate with yourself, others, and the world around you. Have yourself a meaningful day.